This right here is the Hyundai Inster. Well, kind of. This is a hand-built prototype version of the new Casper Electric compact crossover model from the brand, which is going to be priced at less than $40,000 and have more than 300 kilometers of EV driving range. So, the cheapest new electric car from Hyundai. Is it any good? Well, we're going to drive this prototype and find out. So please like, subscribe, and hit the bell to keep up to date with all of my reviews. Let's take a closer look at the new Inster from Hyundai. The Inster Electric City crossover has already been revealed and it looks bloody brilliant if you ask me. I've been a massive fan of the Casper, which is the petrol version of this car sold in South Korea, but unfortunately that model isn't coming and the Inster will instead form an important part of Hyundai Australia's range as the brand's most affordable EV and also the smallest car it offers. So, what was I doing out near Dubbo in New South Wales in the height of summer? And more importantly, what was the car doing there? Yep, that's an aeroplane up there, and that's because we're at Badangara Airstrip outside of Wellington in the central west of New South Wales. It's the only place in Australia that I'm allowed to drive this prototype version of the Inster. So thanks to Hyundai for letting me come along for this really cool experience, and I'm grateful to be able to let you guys have a look behind the curtain because it's pretty amazing to know what goes on that you don't necessarily see when it comes to developing new models for the Australian market. Now, this car is here because it's doing hot weather testing. I'm filming this in January 2024 and it's bloody hot out here in the central west of New South Wales. It can get up to around 48 degrees in some parts of this region, and that's about 120 degrees Fahrenheit. So it is a very hot spot, and this car is being tested to see whether the new integrated drive unit from Borg Warner can live up to the expectations of Hyundai's engineers. They're going to be running this car basically from full charge to empty to see how it goes, and also make sure that they can keep an eye on the powertrain and make sure that there's nothing going wrong with it under the bonnet. Australia is basically the hotspot for hot weather testing for the Southern Hemisphere for the Hyundai Motor Corporation, and it's great to see that they've come back because during COVID there was a bit of a pause. Now they're back doing serious testing with new models like this to basically get an idea of what the powertrains behave like in severe situations where it can get to seriously ridiculously hot temperatures. And obviously that's very important when it comes to EVs because you don't want your battery and your electric drive unit to suffer from the consequences of warm weather. Look, they struggle in cold, they can struggle in really hot too. The Inster is based on the Casper tiny, affordable crossover petrol model, which we sadly still won't get in Australia. But this will be the smallest car on sale in Australia from Hyundai, and it'll also be the most affordable electric model from Hyundai. So it is significantly smaller than the Hyundai Venue compact SUV as well. It's about 4 meters long. This is just on 3.6 meters. So it's tiny, and the price tag will be relatively tiny for an electric car as well. Hyundai says it's aiming for between $35,000 and $40,000 for this model. So it does seem to stack up pretty well from a value perspective, at least on paper and at least at this early stage. While it might be built on the Casper underpinnings and have a bunch of features that you are familiar with from other Hyundai models, it does have a different powertrain. That's the reason it's out here doing its testing. It's not a parts bin car in that respect. The Inster uses a new integrated drive unit sourced from Borg Warner. Now that comprises a very compact package of an electric motor, a drive module, and also the reduction gear set, so the gearbox, and it sends power to the front wheels. Australia has been confirmed to get both the standard range version and the more expensive long range model as well. So the smaller battery pack is a 42 kilowatt hour unit sourced from LG, and the larger capacity long range battery is also from LG with a capacity of 49 kilowatt hours. Both battery pack options are nickel manganese cobalt chemistry, or NMC, which for the battery nerds out there might be a bit of a downer. Many prefer LFP battery tech because it's theoretically more capable of copying constant full charges with less degradation. The powertrain specs for Australia are expected to mirror those in Europe, with the standard range models offering up to 71 kilowatts and the long range versions producing 84.5 kilowatts because every half a kilowatt counts. While it is a pretty zippy little thing, the 0 to 100 times show this is no high output hero. You're looking at around 11.7 seconds for the standard range, with the more powerful long range version claiming 10.6 seconds. Now when it comes to AC charging, it is at a maximum rate of 11 kilowatts, which is very good. 4 hours and 35 minutes for a recharge at that rate, but you'll need 3-phase power at home. And DC charging is at a maximum rate of 120 kilowatts. So that should mean a 10 to 80% fast charge in 30 minutes. As I said, the target EV range is around 355 kilometers for the long-range model with the 15-inch wheels, but if you choose the model that'll have 17s, which will be the high-grade version, you're likely to see more like 320 kilometers or thereabouts of EV driving range. I can't wait to tell you more about the full specs, pricing, and all the details that you really need to know about the Inster, but make sure you ring the bell to keep up to date with all of my reviews, and you'll be notified when the review of the actual Inster electric vehicle goes live. Rightio, so this is a hand-built prototype. It's not representative of what the actual car may be like in real-world showrooms when it shows up, but if it drives like this, it should be well accepted because, I mean, it's an electric car, it's little, and it does feel zippy enough, I think, for this sort of vehicle. Look, I'm not sure whether the drive modes here are actually working or not. I'm in eco mode at the moment, and it feels just as perky as when I put it into sport mode. There's a little bit of difference between throttle response and just the speed pickup, but there's not much difference when it comes to taking away from a standstill. Remember, this is a relatively heavy car, this prototype at least, at 1,358 kilos. So it's not necessarily super duper light, despite the fact that it is super duper small. Now it is a prototype, so there's a lot more work to be done in terms of the refinement, the noise, vibration and harshness and that sort of stuff. What you can expect from the Inster is a pretty good regen braking system. So in this prototype, if I just hold down the left pedal, it will come down to a full stop, and there will be a single pedal driving mode as well. And from what I can tell of this prototype, the brake pedal feel is pretty good, and hopefully that carries across to the real car, because brakes can be a bit of a sticking point when it comes to the drivability of some smaller EVs. Hyundai Australia has confirmed the car is coming, and there will be a local suspension and handling tune for it. So there's no real point in me showing you what it's like when it comes to the steering or anything like that, but I will anyway, because I can. So, whoa, whoa, yeah, it feels like a prototype car. So we'll have to wait and see what the actual car's like to drive, but you can expect it to be tuned to Australian tastes, because that's what Hyundai is known for. It is feeling like a pretty zippy little thing, and I reckon that for people who are looking for a compact runaround EV with, you know, not huge range and not a huge price tag as a result of that, it could be a really good choice. Now, the production version won't be arriving in Australian showrooms until probably early 2025, so there's a lot more to learn, but it is still a pretty interesting option for people who are looking for something, well, more practical than a Fiat 500e, but still fully electric and a lot cheaper than that car as well. And also a little bit different to the likes of the GWM Aura and MG4 as well. Smaller than both of those cars too, by a significant margin. You can expect that it's going to come with all the safety tech and the gear that you would get in a modern day car, even though it will be pretty affordable. Things like lane keeping assistance, you also have adaptive cruise control, and you could get things like blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, and plenty of other little tech items as well. Not sure yet when it comes to the safety rating for it, but we'll have to wait and see whether it gets put through the ANCAP ringer or not. But look, it's a 4-seater, so it's not going to suit everyone's needs. And at least though, if you are okay with 4 seats only, there are ISOFIX points and top tether points fitted as standard. So if you've got kids and you want a tiny little SUV style car that's electric, hey, it might be the right car for you. Now, I know that was a bit of a different review from me, but hey, look, you got to take these opportunities while you can. I hope you learned something from it. And also, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe and hit the bell so you can keep up to date with all of my reviews as they go live. Going to be doing a full-scale, detailed review of the Hyundai Inster when the production model launches at the end of 2024 or early 25. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting my channel, and I'll see you in the next one.